and I will use just enough for that and from the sources that best help activate that. Because if you say, like, I'm into astrology, I'm into human design, I'm into numerology, that means you're grabbing all of the versions of it. The superstitious versions, the fear-based versions, the controlling versions, the anxious versions, because everybody puts a little bit of themselves in their interpretations, right?
Well, so one of the things that you really kept reminding me is, the art of surrender.
Mm-hmm.
I have my sun sign and my moon both in fixed signs. It's in Taurus and Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big part of
By
me
the
that
way,
wants.
I'm not an astrologer. I don't know any of what that means,
All
but
right.
okay.
So I'm just gonna give
Yeah.
a small intro. It's basically a
Mm-hmm.
part of me is very fixed, wants to control things, to stay safe,
Mm-hmm.
stable, basically very boring. Yeah, so you remind me a lot again. Like, yes, there's a part of me. It's like I swing between these two realities. One part of me, and I feel like when I'm there, I'm really tapped into my soul, my essence. It's like full on surrender because I feel like I've already died so many times in this life
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, it's like there's like no fear anymore. And then there's the other part again that's like, I would say, my human flesh that wants to hold on again to this old identity. And so, what's alive for me right now in this moment, also, so thanks to you with these messages that I've been receiving, let go, surrender.
Yeah, I think advice, obviously, not truth, not absolute truth, not even like anything other than very human and perfect perspective, influenced a little by a spiritual system, but also just like what feels right to say in the moment that can sometimes be wrong. So don't take my words as gospel. I think there are times where surrender means getting off that analysis train that has been so helpful in the past and stopping those loops from continuing. Because it doesn't matter if it's astrology, numerology, like personality framework from academic, whatever. Like if we analyze too much, we start missing life, right? And if we don't analyze, then we don't progress. So there's a very fine balance between the two. And I think that because you weren't specific on what happened or what, and you don't need to be if you don't want to, but like what you overcame and where you are now, what I'm picking up on is you are still overanalyzing like you had to back then because it was important, but like you don't need to anymore. And that's kind of like a song that is time to turn off. It'll come back. You'll listen to it again. But if you step down from that and then just make things simpler, not sun sign, not transits, not whatever, but just this is my life right now. What's next? And act on it, decide on it, seek it as if you were a person that does not know all these other things. Probably the best exercise for you to not get caught up in analysis that's already complete, but is maybe running in the background from habit. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah. The reason yeah, bro, like you just like hit the nail again. I I think 2 days ago, I have
Mm-hmm.
deleted or unsubscribed from many topics or channels that I was following regarding like astrology.
Mm-hmm.
I came into that world like 2.5, 3 years ago. There's also another tool or system that I liked, which is called human design. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have numerology. And I noticed that I was basically following these things. I mean, no transit, so future prediction to save myself from disaster
Mm-hmm.
instead of being just here in the moment and facing life
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw my own shadow in there to protect myself, to not get hurt again.
Yeah.
But that's basically affirming that then I believe that life is working against me. and that I need to,
Mhm.
do all these things to stay safe or to not
Yeah.
face pain.
Yeah.
And now actually, I feel way more fucking excited and alive, but just being here, so
Mhm.
simple here, right
Mhm.
now,
Yeah. Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, bro, what
It's
you just said
a
is like,
yeah. It's a common it's a common thing for I think all of us, and it's not just people who follow these systems, because people do the same thing with science, people do the same thing with psychology, people do the same thing with any framework. There's times where they unlock things, and there's times where they are not where the attention should be. Not that they stop working, but are not where the attention should be. And I also think that there's a different way of using them, right? Because there's the approach of like, I'm not trying to understand the universe. I'm just trying to understand my present life, just from a positive, empowering perspective, and I will use just enough for that, and from the sources that best help activate that. Because if you say like, I'm into astrology, I'm into human design, I'm into numerology, that means you're grabbing all of the versions of it, the superstitious versions, the fear-based versions, the controlling versions, the anxious versions, because everybody puts a little bit of themselves in their interpretations, right? And sometimes we think like medicine, like we're just connecting to a version of truth, but the version of truth is always translated by somebody. And that's true with medicine. That's true when you hire a lawyer. There's the system they're experts in, and then there's their filter. And not all filters are empowering, and not all filters help you deactivate over analysis. Some of them just feed into it endlessly.
mm,
So it's not even the system; it's the source. And I think it's easy to forget because we see the system as the entity itself, but the system lives and dies on the delivery, on the filter, on the translator. It's also true, and I say this like completely comfortably. Sometimes you just don't even need to shut off. Just log off from my app. You can do that. It's fine. It's like it's both not for everybody and not for all the time. And you can come back or not. Like I do have like, and this is, I'm not talking at you, but you kind of like inspired a topic of conversation that I'm now ranting on. So I don't
I
want you to
love it.
think like, because we're in a reading setting, that like I'm talking about you. No, you just made me think of this, and now I want to speak to it openly. I do have a pet peeve with people who engage with these systems in the, I don't want to decide, I don't want to progress, I just want to analyze. I never connected with that energy. Like in workplaces, there were jobs that I had where we would have these long meetings about analyzing the problem, talking about the problem, thinking about possible solutions, considering this, considering that, and then no decision is made. And I was just like, I cannot handle, like, just make a decision. Make a decision. Like, I don't care. Like just decide. It's okay if it's wrong. Just decide.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Because life flies by.
Exactly. It's
And
like I was
sometimes
looking.
analyzing is perfection. It's like trying to get it right. That, like, life doesn't work that way. Sometimes the best outcome is to mess up, because after you mess up, then you find the right answer. But if you're trying to protect yourself from messing up, you never do anything, and then you never progress. And deciding is so, like, it's just, you're at a fork in the road. Forget what's right and what's wrong. There's nothing more dangerous than trying to figure it out forever. And I
Exactly.
really try to make my forecast that way. Not about like giving you certainty, but just like let's decide. And it's okay.
Mhm.
That's my view. I don't know.
Bro, I love it. Like, this reminds me of what you said earlier about AI.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna like
Yeah.
add a new layer, but you
Mm-hmm.
this actually the same. It was like also me, for instance, when it comes to like career decisions, relationship decisions, home decisions, right? You basically are waiting for something outside of you to say that's the right moment,
Mm-hmm.
like another month.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is so, and let's say a beautiful opportunity comes right now, you're like, oh wait,
Mm-hmm.
it's not aligned because the planets are not the right way, or
Yeah, no, oh,
or
I
it's
hate
not
that.
the right time to do or take action. It's exactly like AI, you know, what you said, like people, I just realized how much, um, how do you call this in English? Um, I guess you give your sovereignty away, you know, that's it. Like your
Your
own life,
freedom, your
the
freedom.
freedom, exactly. Like,
Yeah,
how do I do this? What's the best way to go forward?
yeah,
Because afraid to make
yeah.
mistakes, afraid to fuck up, afraid to, yes, bump your head.
Hmm.
And so yeah, bro, I love the passion, man. I feel you, yeah.
If you're always asking someone or something for what you should do, you're in the most vulnerable, dangerous place. Period. That's where that's where you close the most doors in your life.
Mm.
And it's not like the whole like and to, like again, it's not even about this system, this thing yes, this thing no. It's like there's always a room for external opinions. There's always a room for external sources. There's always a room for external information, be it from AI, from numerology, from a doctor, from a lawyer, like always, always, always. But like it or not, the final decision is with you. And it's very easy to say, like, I don't trust myself. I'll do what they want me to do, or like I trust them more than I trust me. If that works, it's never going to work forever. It'll always be temporary, and then it'll start going against you. And I think the muscle that we all have to develop is trusting ourselves. And that does not mean that you then become your own doctor, your own lawyer, your own airplane pilot, your own neurologist. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like wherever you get your advice from, you're always the person filtering. This makes sense. This is for me. This doesn't make sense. This is not for me. And that skill is the most important because there's not a single software entity system in the entire universe that will give you all the advice you need. That's your own internal guidance system, your own soul. There's another thing you can consult that is inside here, that is not here but is here, and that connection matters a lot. And again, does not mean we shut out from outside sources. But it's just as dangerous to give every decision to AI as it is to give every decision to astrology, numerology, teledipity, me. Like you've heard me say a million times to every reading, it's like one opinion, one possibility, take it or leave it. Because I don't want anybody to listen to me over themselves. And I try not to write or speak that way ever. And it really makes me angry. And that's why I'm so conflicted about AI right now. But it really makes me angry in general. And it's scary. To me, it's like, to me, like, there's nothing scarier than that, than losing your internal guidance system and outsourcing every decision to someone or something else. That to me is like worse than any horrible thing you can imagine. That to me is the worst thing.
I guess we are learning as a collective with time
Hmm.
this mistake or this. I see it as a mistake as well, you know. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, wait a minute, I gave my authority away, you know, just instead of living me.
Hmm.
So yeah, I feel eventually it might take a while, but people will get to this point of view you're
Here's
talking about.
here's a complexity with that. When we start thinking that way, like a wisdom, a piece of wisdom that made sense in my life, that helped me, that empowered me, that freed me. Everybody needs to figure this out. That is a trap in itself. Because even though when you zoom out human history, I do believe that the story is for progress. Another thing that's very clear to me is that we have no clue what part of it we are. And sometimes when in the spiritual space and the new age space, we talk about like one day everybody's going to figure this out. I feel like we're thinking like this is going to happen like in the next 10 years or in the next 5. Like I'm sorry. Human history is full of evidence that there's certain parts about the human condition that would make that very hard for everyone to agree on a belief, for everyone to agree on a worldview, for everyone to agree on a way to do things. I don't know, man. You go back to the cave ages, they were still fighting about shit. So when we were trying to externalize, like, this is what we believe is the right way to live, now let's go take it global. I think that's another trap. That's another trap that's now shifting the spotlight away from yourself and your own personal evolution and trying to place you as the person that takes something global, that changes the world, that changes like, there were always really wise people. There was Socrates, and there was Montaigne, and there was all these very evolved people in the middle of wars, in the middle of very difficult chapters in human history, and they were not able to bring everybody along. I don't know if we're going to see that in our lifetimes. I think statistics say probably not. And I think my own personal opinion is that the world would be a better place if, not that we don't share wisdom, that we don't share point of views, all that is great. But if we all stop trying to change the world in our view, I think if that was the focus of it, and if nobody was trying to make their beliefs global, it's probably like a lot of shit that would stop happening. That's my personal opinion.
Where are you from, by the way, Andres?
Mexico.
Mexico. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Nice rants you got me into. I like that. I was talking about diversifying the content of the stream, so thanks for that, because you prompted me into some weird rants.
Bro, did you finish your breakfast?
It's halfway done. At least I got the protein that I needed. Now I don't feel hungry. Now my stomach's not growling anymore, so it's good. Yasin, thank you for this. I appreciate you creating a different kind of call, and I like that. I want to think about how to replicate that, because it was interesting to not look at a chart but to just talk about stuff. I liked it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, brother, also for being here and for what you do, man. Like, really. And I wanted you to really know, like, whoa, yeah, like, you're doing. I feel like you're influencing so many lives you're not even aware of. So yeah, I'm one of them.
Thank you. Influencing only, not more than that. I don't want more. I don't want more than that. Influencing is okay. Maybe just like adding something tiny.
Yeah, man, you're definitely planting great seeds. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, this was good, man. Maybe next time again we continue with the part 2.
Sounds good.
All right.
It's great meeting you, man.
Bye, brother.
Talk soon. To get a free 7-section numerology chart, including monthly forecasts every first of the month, download the Teledipity app from your favorite app store or visit teledipity.com today. All the links are in the video description below, as well as the channel bio. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more numerology content.